Several social service agencies are teaming up to help people living at a growing homeless camp in Minneapolis.
Outreach groups say at least 50 people live there now, with a majority of them being Native Americans. They say it started up several months ago. The camp is near Hiawatha Avenue and Franklin Avenue, just southeast of downtown.
My English name is Dylan Hallberg and my Ojibwe name is Chimatig Dangashin Nibe, and I'm from the White Earth tribe of Ojibwe. When I first saw the tent city of homeless people in Minneapolis growing, it made me think of Native American history before the westward expansion, when my ancestors lived on the land and relied on the land. Even though the circumstances around the tent city are sad, it showed a sense of community and showed how strong the Native American community is, even though there are some very negative things happening there, like drugs.
About our natives against heroin, and, we want to just make sure that this is history. This is history. Has never been happened in Minneapolis or the United States like it is today.
The next big school of thought to help the Indian. They wanted to relocate Native Americans off reservations and move them to big urban centers, like here in Minneapolis. My father was part of this urban relocation in the 1950s. He moved off of the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, was moved to Stockton, California. That's what also happened today. The urban relocation program is truly the #1 reason why we've seen the homeless encampment that we've seen, known as Tent City in Minneapolis today.
Fighting the system where you go apply for a place and they want $50 that you don't have for an application fee. A lot of people can't afford that. Seems like when we were homeless, we were searching. We could never find a real landlord. There was always a company running it.
This relocation program promised great hopes, right? Get off the reservation, get a job, we'll subsidize a house, we'll get you kind of on your feet and get going. Yeah, that's a great idea. There wasn't a lot of stuff to do on the res, not a lot of jobs, not a lot of money to be made. But when you leave the reservation, the people are still the people. Their culture is still their culture. And when a Native American from the prairie or from the North Woods came and seen these big skyscrapers, it wasn't smooth transition all the time. It's kind of stuck. Hence why we know of a little place called Little Earth. Because of the Native American Indian Relocation Act, Little Earth became. It was there also, the Cedar high-rise apartments was also a very major place where Native Americans would come stay with their subsidized housing during the 70s, 80s, and 90s, okay? During that relocation time. But we got flashback. Their economy is gone, their culture was stripped from them, their language is gone. And now they're sitting in the middle of the city, exposed to all these new, exciting, fun, even dangerous things. And Native Americans were introduced to these drugs, crime, and truly their families were impacted. Heroin was very, 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 very big thing within this tent city.
Where the addiction comes in, they just stay where they can. Their addiction is just full blown. A lot of people are staying here because of that.
Trying to help people with addiction get into treatment, helping find landlords that will take felons and people with addiction.
I came here to teach at South High School because my hope and prayer is that none of my students will be in a spot like that. I teach economics, I teach these life skills to my young Native Americans to maybe steer them away from that. I expose them not just to the homeless encampment, right, to see it, be in it, and actually walk through it, but I expose them to being a lawyer, expose them to being a doctor, expose them to be a professional in a field. Why? As a historian, we need to know where we came from. And we also need to know that so we know where we're going in the future. Historical trauma runs deep.
We wanted to investigate this situation for ourselves. My name is Hussein and I am from Somalia. I came to America December 23rd, 2010. When I walked through the tent camp in Minneapolis during this summer, it reminded me of a refugee camp I used to live in back home in Ethiopia. I feel sad for these people because as an immigrant I've been through this, but I never knew it could exist in the United States. I was so confused because as a child coming to America, I used to hear good things about America, saying that America is a paradise and people are all happy. But I realized some parts of the myth I used to hear about America wasn't so true.
About a dozen people will move today from the homeless encampment in Minneapolis to a new shelter called a Navigation Center just on the other side of Hiawatha Avenue. It's the first of its kind in Minnesota, a low-barrier shelter where people can come and go 24 hours a day, are not required to be sober or have clean criminal records, and can stay with pets, partners, and extended family members.
As of January 2019, the tent city has been moved to a place called the Navigational Center, which is on property owned by Red Lake Nation. It bothers me now that the tents are all gone. The problem is hidden away from everything. Ever since it moved, no one talks about it anymore. It's like it just disappeared. It is as the city just wants to make the homeless problem seem like it's fixed.
It's important that we continue to keep this issue in the news and keep talking about it. It seems everyone wanted to help at the beginning, but now it's not there. It feels like the only ones that are trying to help are the Native American community. But it just can't be them. We have to make this a multicultural situation because homelessness isn't just a Native problem. It affects all members of every community, and we all suffer from it.